Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. So last few days we are talking about Flow Designer. So this is our last session about the Flow Designer. We'll talk about today the actions and data stream. So before that, if you have not watched my previous video, last two video regarding the Flow Designer, I would recommend you to go and watch that because this is the continuation video from last two video. Okay. So in the last session, what we did, I'll just quickly recap that. We created that subflow and we are calling that subflow from that flow because we talked about that subflow. Today we'll talk about that actions. Okay. So what the action we are going to perform. So I just let me go back and tell you that what I have done right now. I have created one more field into that incident that called um, request required, something like that. Let me open that incident form. So in the incident form, the flow config, I have added one more field called raise request. Okay. So my concern is right now is that if some checkbox have the check and the caller is Rohit, because that flow is running, that caller is Rohit, we can put any condition like priority or urgency or impact or state, any condition we can run that flow. But right now our flow is running on that if the caller is Rohit in my name. So what we are doing, we are checking that if that change required is checkbox is check or problem required checkbox is checked, so we are going to create a problem ticket. Along with that, as usual, we are creating one incident task in lower sections. Okay. So right now I came up with the new things called raise request. Okay. If the raise request will be checkbox check, will raise a request, catalog request for from this flow. Okay. And that will be little bit dynamic. I just want to make the little bit dynamic. Okay. So what we'll do, so we can create one here. We can create a new actions, and that action can be performed for, like, if that let's create one new action. Okay. So what we'll do, let me refresh this. First, I'm going to create one catalog item so that that catalog item can be raised from the request. Okay. So I'm going to maintain item here. I'm going to create one catalog item. Okay. So I am just creating one catalog item called created from incident. This catalog item I'm just creating, and I have not attaching any task or anything, any workflow right now. Later we can add that. So what we'll do, my thought is that when some incident will be created from incident will be updated by checking the raise request, we will raise this catalog item. Okay. So we'll raise the catalog item and we will generate the request in our item through this our custom activity. Okay. So we'll talk that today. So what we are going to do, we'll create one activity. Before that, I'm just, if you see, there are small plus icon. So there is a if block, there is a else block. In between I want to put one more condition, flow logic calls else if, and then here I just want to put the trigger consider trigger condition incident record. Raise request is true, then I am going to put one more flow logic or one more condition here. So that's the one condition I add. So you can always move any of these flow or actions, any of these stages, or else you can create any of this action in between that by plus signing. Okay. So I'm just creating one more condition that if the trigger condition is problem required, it is going to create one problem task, a problem record from this subflow we discussed. And here we are going to build a custom activity or custom action. From there we will be able to raise the request. Okay. So what we are going to do here, if you see in the action, there are already predefined one action called raise the request. This is the already predefined actions we have called raise request. See, the submit catalog request. But here the only challenges is that I am facing right now. I can select the catalog item, but I cannot you know, create like set value from that in that variable. Okay, so let's build our custom actions, and let's create that custom action, and I will tell you that how we can build, and then we'll complete this task. Okay, so I'm just going to delete this one right now, and I will add that. So let's save that. This video a little bit lengthy because we are doing some scripting. We are going to do some actions, and we will build some catalog item. I'll quickly build that catalog item and try it. Okay, so my small catalog item is built. Right now, in this catalog item, I created only two fields. One is called incident number, and another is the details. And once someone raised the request, it will be stored the incident number and details. That's it. So it's a simple, straightforward. I built that. So we are going to raise the request, raise the catalog item from the flow designer. Okay, so let's do that. So first, to do that, what we are going to do, we are going to create one actions called raise catalog item, and this is the action name. We are just submitting that actions. In the actions, there are two things. You can see input, output. So in the input, what are the things we are going to need? First, we need that incident objects, right? So we are going to click that create inputs, and this should be the type should be, I'm putting the reference and putting that incident number, so incident table, and this is the variable name, I'm putting that incident number. Okay, so this variable is created, and I'm making sure that this variable is mandatory. Whenever someone raise the request, this is mandatory. Okay, along with that, I am going to create one more call, that catalog item. So here in the catalog item also, I am just making the reference, and then what we are doing, that catalog item name, along with that what we are doing. So we are pointing to that sccat item table, where we can select that catalog item, and also I am making this value is mandatory. And one more things, we are going to create that variables, and this should be the string format. I'm just making mandatory. So these three variables is mandatory when someone going to call that. And secondly, we are going to run a script so that we can process that variable and run that. So what we can do, we can select that run script here, utilization, and here we can write our script. So in the script also, we have two things called input variables and output variables. So we have to declare some input variables here. So I'm just pointing to that incident, and I have to select let me select all in small. I'm just putting, I have to select that incident from incident number, and the next variable we are expecting that catalog item, and that should be, we should be pointing through that in catalog item, and next variable we are expecting, and we are selecting that variable. So these three things are done. So now in this code, we can be able to access this variable inputs catalog item variable, which is nothing but, well, in the input variable, whatever value we will receive that, so the same value we are just selecting in this script. Okay, so what we'll do in the script, we'll raise the request. Okay, so to raise the request, I have some business rule already written in my for previous purpose. I'll just copy that code and paste here, and I'll debug if something is wrong. So what we'll do, I'll quickly copy this code and paste here in our flow designer. I'll explain each and every line. So where what we are doing here, first we are generating one variable called cart id, and in that glide GUID generate null, we are generating one cart for the user. And what we are doing basically here, in the cart we are setting the cart id, and here I have to pass the catalog item sysid, catalog sysid. So catalog sysid is nothing but this one. We are going to add that dot sysid. And remember that whenever you are going to use the inputs, you have to be return some here. Okay, so this is your inputs, and then here you are just, we are setting that requester. So in the requester, what we will set that current logged in user, so gs.get user id, so we'll set that. Okay, and then finally what we are doing, we are raising the request, but we are not setting any such variables that we are expecting, right? So we should be able to set some variables value. So what we will set in that, so let's do that. Copy these variables, copy this code, I'm pasting here. So what we'll do, we'll for loop the JSON, and then what we'll do, I'm going to declare one variable called var a variable JSON, and here what I am expecting that inputs dot variables will paste here. Okay, so whatever value we'll get that, before that we have to parse that, the value we are parsing here, and we'll for loop that, and we'll set that value, variables value and value here. Okay, and this should be the variables names, which is nothing but we'll set as a key value. Okay, and here we'll set that variable actual value. So that's it. So what we are doing, we are for doing the for loop, because in the variable we'll pass the variable, we'll doing the for loop and we'll pass that variables only. Okay, so now in the finally we can pass that in the number, we'll pass that later. So let's save that. And the output we can pass that, or we can pass that request number. Okay, and that should be string, and we can just save for the time being. I'll check and try once more time. So when I'm clicking the test, what we need, that we need first incident number. So I'm just selecting one incident number, catalog item name. So what catalog item we created, created from incident, and here we need to pass the variables value in a JSON format. So we are going to pass the variables value. So what are the variables name? Let me add that name here. So this variable name is details. We'll just put the details here as a JSON, and we'll see that test request. Okay, and so once we run this, it should generate one request. By clicking here, we will be able to see that. And then let's go to the SC request table and see it's actually generates or not. let me open this table. So somehow it's not created. You can see that it's 15 days ago it's only created. We can see that what issue we are facing here. So let's go back to this our flow, and we'll see that so what value or what issue we are getting. Let's fix that. So now I am able to figure out the issue. The issue was, if you see the inputs, we are taking the reference, right? That incident number and the catalog item. But when we are mapping, like that, I'm mapping that parameter with that incident object. I cannot save that because it will be again. You can see the parameter. This fourth parameter will be gone because you have to be select some. You cannot select any objects. Okay. So what I did here, I did that incident dot incident number dot number, that I created the incident number, and this variable I am just putting that catalog item SID, which is that catalog item CSID I am just storing, and then this value I am passing here. Okay, so that's it. So we are putting that catalog item CSID and we are looping through that variables and doing that. Okay, along with that, once our request will be raised, what we are trying to do here, we just need to pass the request number. What we will do, we'll create one more variable here called request number, and this should be string. What we'll do, we'll set that outputs dot request number equal to rc dot number dot toString. So whenever this will be returned, the script will be returned some request number, and that script output should be mapped with that this action output request. I can say that rq number, so that there will be some difference. Okay, rq underscore number, and this will be mandatory, and here you have to click the edit exit mode and you have to map with that script request number and save that. Okay, so basically try to understand what we are doing there. We are in the action, we are taking three inputs. One is the incident number, catalog item, and variable. These three are these two are reference, and this one is the JSON. And then in the script, what we are doing, we are actually mapping. Somehow it's gone, so we have to select that input item and variables. So we, as it's the reference field, we have to dot work to the number and the SID. I'm doing the dot work. You can create multiple variables if you want. And then finally what we are doing, this catalog item name we are passing here, and then this variable name we are looping through the for loop and setting that variable value. Okay, and incident number I am not using anymore anywhere. Okay, we created that all this in input variables on the script. Similarly, created one more variable, output variable in the script, that is called request number, and this request number we are mapping with that actual request number which will be generated called rc.number.toString. And finally in the output we are mapping that rq number, we are creating one output variable, and then we are just dot working to the script and mapping that. So let's save and publish and try it. Let's click the test. I have to select some incident number, although I am not using. I thought initially I will use that, but I am not using. Here I have to select the catalog item name created from script. Here I have to set the variables. We have a variable called details, and then we are going to say that created from script, and this, once we use that, let's see that it's generate or not. So we can see it's generate one request, and if I go to the request table, RITM table, there should be some RITM for that also. So let's see that. There is a one RITM is just now, you can see the less than a minute it's created. We'll see that and see it's created. Okay, so our action is ready. We should be able to use this action in our flow. What we'll do, I'll click add, click actions, and under this global I should be able to see that what we created, res catalog item, right? So this is the catalog item. I should be able to select that action name. Here I have to select the incident. So what we'll do, in the incident we'll select that input trigger incident record. Sorry, this should be in incident record. I'll select here input incident record, and this is the catalog item name. We are going to select that created this one, and here we'll put that variables called details. In the details we'll type something called created from script or from flow or maybe incident, and we can put the incident number here. Okay, put the incident number, and there is a one more variable called if you remember, we created that incident number, where we will select that incident number, although it's a reference. So what we'll do, we'll pass the incident number, sysID, and then we'll close these blocks. Okay, so that's it. You can see we are setting the variables, we are doing that, and then save that and activate this flow. Okay, I'm just activating this flow. Now once I go back here, putting that this is the Rohit, and checking that updating. Okay, I hope that it's saved. Right now if I click the update, it should call this our new flow. So let's see that. If I go here execution, we could be able to see that this is in queued right now. It will be picked up in a second. So it's picked up, and let's see what's it's affiliated. So you can see it's create one incident task as expected. Like previously it will create one incident task here, and along with that it should create one more. If I go here, it's evaluated, and then it's raised the catalog item, and this is the catalog item name which is we are getting right now. So let's see, if I go to the request table, we will be able to see that one catalog item which is right now created, one just now, and so once you open that, there will be incident number 215, and this is the incident number. So that's how you can create your custom actions. Just now I showed an example that how can we can raise the request, but you can create based on your actual requirement. Along with that, we'll talk about today that topics called one more topics we have. As as I activated that integration hub, you can see in the connection there are many integration API available. So as I activated the integration hub. So we'll talk about quickly that data stream. So data stream is like we can say that test data. It's called like a integrations, as I am activated that. So in the data stream also we have inputs and outputs, and along with that you can see there are action pre-processing and request and parsing. There are few options. What this means that in the action request you can see we have an option called select rest or soap. So basically this is for integration only. Okay, so this is as I activated that integration hub, it's automatically pre-populated with that data streams, and here I can select the rest, and I have to, once I select the rest, you can see there are one more already quickly created, and here I have to select that rest message name and rest message connection and URL, everything I have to select here. Connection I have to select here, or else you can select that URL here, the request. So all these things you have to define here, and parsing is nothing but once you receive the data, how you want to parse, like in a JSON format, and you have to select that script parser, and you can write some script. So that's all about for the integration hub. But for the basic things, if you are not using the integration hub, you don't have to bother about that. You will not be able to see this data stream and these options called connection options, so you don't have to worry about that. Also, if you see flow from that subflow, you can call another subflow. That's the one things. And also you can deactivate your flow or subflow anytime, so that it cannot be used anymore. Like a business flow, you can active, deactive. Similarly, you can active and deactive. And there are few more options are available called copy flow, so that you can copy this flow and create like a workflow. You can create a copy workflow. Similarly, they are providing that copy flow. So these are the various opportunity, we can say, the various options the ServiceNow provided for that flow designer. I hope you like this video. Please subscribe and like and provide your valuable feedback, and thank you very much. Have a great day.